What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Heat Soaked. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe down below if you're enjoying these podcast videos. Once again, I'm Chris. This is KT, and we're having some fun on this next episode of us. As you can see, what's behind us, same project car we talked about last episode. And
So what's going on with you? What updates you got to share with us?
oh man, let's see updates. I did an oil change.
That's important.
It's got a new filter, So it's I think it's like plus 5 horsepower the way we're going. No man, I'm just going slow and easy with her. She's actually running great, surprisingly. We did a couple of test runs and
Yeah.
just a couple of stuff you guys are gonna see on the form content is gonna be like, bought her with working AC. I am looking at doing the timing, so you guys can't wait to see more of that. That's going. So I'm excited. What's new with yours?
Yeah, I'm making progress with mines. Actually, is working on the rear suspension, getting a lot of the parts and pieces back together. So this time around, I got the upper control arms in, the lower control
Uh-huh.
arms in, tow arms, traction arms. So it's coming together.
Yeah.
Soon enough, it's gonna be on the ground.
Well, I know we got some clips I'll send to you, and we'll make sure we add them to that section so you guys can see some updates and everything. But yeah, absolutely, man. Congrats. You're slowly but surely getting there.
Yeah,
Like I said, dude,
thanks.
you'll have the nice undercarriage. And that's not a sexual innuendo. That's just me being honest with cars.
And we're making a lot of content as we go in terms of like how we're fixing our own individual cars.
Absolutely.
And speaking of content, we got a good episode today.
Yeah, actually, we got some new updates over here for Heat Soaked. So once again, guys, if you are watching, and we do appreciate all our viewers, we've gotten a lot of good feedback. We are putting our episodes out, I would say, every about 2 weeks. So we want to make sure we stay consistent with that. If it extends or goes over, of course, where it takes some time to edit, as we're doing this ourselves. Me and KT are taking the time to make sure we want to do this right the first time. So I appreciate all you guys' patience, and make sure you continue to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, make sure you're hitting us up on Instagram at HeatSoakedFL, and we have a Facebook page now.
Yeah, we do.
So
So if you guys are interested, just go to Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us, whatever you do on Facebook, I
yeah,
guess.
whatever poke. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Yeah.
I don't have one, so I mean it's gonna be another. But yeah, so something we wanted to definitely cover as we went into this episode was, previously we talked about just being a podcast, and that's something that me and Katie had been mulling over. As we are working on our cars and we are creating a little more content. Something we want to get more focused on is some short form content for you guys. So you will see us kind of adjust from more of maybe 2 podcasts a month to maybe a podcast to have a full conversation about it, and some more short form content where you guys will see us work on the cars. For example, just talked a little bit earlier about doing the timing and everything on the car. So you'll see me kind of rip apart the timing belt, the serpentine belts, kind of show you what's going on the front end of that one, and that'll help with that. So that's going to be some more exciting stuff coming your way from us here at Heat Soak. That's something we're excited about. So KT, I know, was looking for the short form content. I know he was setting up a couple things on his car, and we've been really getting our editing on, as you could say. He's
And having fun
responsible.
with it too.
Yeah,
That's the most
absolutely.
important part.
Yep, and exactly. It's about enjoying it. So we want to make something that we enjoy for you guys. Like I said, we always see this as our opportunity, so we're just going from there.
Yeah, and in terms of the short form content, so you guys know we both have our own individual Instagram accounts, and we also have the Heat Soaked Instagram account. So we've been messing around individually on our own accounts, just
Hmm.
just making content, figuring
Yep.
out what works, what doesn't work, and just enjoying the overall ride, But what we want to be able to do is make more content together
Hmm.
and post it on our Heat Soaked combined account.
Hmm.
And when we're talking about content, we're trying to promote Heat Soaked. We're trying to promote community. We're trying to promote what me and Chris do together, how we have fun together, and what we're doing with our cars too.
Absolutely.
So, we're trying to be a little more focused in that regard. We're trying to make sure that we put out content that's relatable. You can understand how Chris and I
Yeah.
are thinking and why we're friends,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important, man. Like a lot of people, there's a couple really important things that we talked about, especially when having these conversations, developing the Heat Soak brand, really talking it over. And funny enough, even as we talk about cars, working on them, something that we really wanted to come back to our roots and come back to the community that we're trying to build. For example, like a lot of people will, do these things, spend, pull out loans, spend a lot of money on cars, we have lives just like a lot of our other viewers and everything, and we have bills, we have everything else. I think something really important to us is to reflect the reality of what it's like to be an actual human being. Like we're down here in Florida, so anything you see happening is real time as we kind of move around. There might be some delay if we're doing something new, which might be coming up here shortly, but I think it bringing lessons from the reality of that, of working on our cars in the Florida heat and working on other things, is what we focus on Heat Soaked. And it's something that I think a lot of people have forgotten. I think on another podcast we talk about how people have forgotten how to act like a human being, and I think that's something we want to make sure we stay true to. And just like I said, we're not gonna be those corny people, but we might have some laughs as we go in between. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for continuously watching. Something exciting is coming up that we're gonna talk to as we bring some lessons to it. So KT, bring us up to speed
Yeah.
on our next project,
So
man.
I mean, we don't want to be social media influencers. We don't want to
Correct.
be those types of content creators. What we want to do is build a community to just showcase between Chris and I. We have a lot of fun together working on our cars and just being friends overall. And
Absolutely.
we know that that community exists out there and we
Mhm.
want other people to kind of be part of that
For
community,
sure,
right?
man, for
So
sure.
hopefully by producing content showcasing how we enjoy, the journey that we're going through
Yeah.
together, other people would be like, "Hey, like I want to be part of a journey like
Yep,
that. I want
absolutely.
to be part of Heat Soaked. I want to find my own friends that I can do things like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
with."
Yeah, absolutely, and, like, you brought up a good point. You wanna find your own friends. I think that, when we talk about Heat Soak community, I might have talked to some people that I know and really brought up the fact that, "Hey, if you're ever down to work on a car or we're ever working on something, would you like to be included? Would you like me to call you up?" And, I have a couple buddies that are like, "Sure, if I can make it, I can make it, and I'll come, but don't stop inviting me." I think that's really important to remember is, like, some guys do have, other lives, and we work around our schedules to do what we're able to do here, and that's something that personally for us that we really focus on. But showing that to you guys and really like giving you guys a glimpse into our lives is something that we really focused on, and it's something that's important to us. That when we build this community, it's uh, it's relevant. It's something that, we understand, like I said earlier, we're all paying bills, we're all focusing on our cars, and if somebody needs a hand on their car, do you think I'd spend, a day, when I have other things to do to help other people? Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Because I just have a love for cars. I got good friends, and I know they would do the same for me if I was in a pinch. So, absolutely, at the end of the day, this is something that we absolutely focus on. We're looking for members in our community if we need mechanics or we need hands just to help us out. There might be some time in the future where we're going to be developing new, projects, new cars. One of those developments might be happening a little bit later as we discuss that, but we might be looking for some extra hands to really help and go into a build, do some junkyard pulls, have some fun, develop some content together, and really show what it's like down here and go from that. And speaking of that,
Yeah.
KT, what do we got coming up, man?
So Heat Soaked is trying to get into actually building things and doing really fun challenges. So
Hmm.
speaking of challenges, we recently found out about the Grassroots Motorsports $2,000 challenge.
Yeah.
It's actually happening this year, mid-April,
Yes.
but Heat Soaked is going to aim to participate in the 2027 version of it.
Yes.
So it's an annual event too,
Mhm.
and you want to walk us through what that actually is?
So annual event in Gainesville. It basically what happens is it has two real form subjects that we're going to be focusing on: autocross and drag. These are the two real events that are going to be happening at the GRM $2,000 challenge. Especially when our focus is 2027. Now the challenge is this, and I'll put it in basic format. There are a lot of other complications, rules, safety that are going to go into this. We'll break that down as we go along. You guys will see a couple other videos as we kind of talk about this challenge, or as we find out what we're getting, what we're going to be building, what we're focusing on. We will get into that, but let's talk about the challenge. We have $2,000 to really focus and build a car that can win an autocross event or a drag event and a drag event, excuse me. So something really important to us is finding something and really focusing on this. But $2,000 is all we have. Some people pay more, and of course, they find something more fun. but we really want to stick our brains to that $2,000. If we can find a car for $500, we have $1,500 to really work on a vehicle. We can try to get it as fast as we can
Get
or
some
as light as we can.
suspension tuning in
Suspension
there,
tuning
get
in
the
there.
safety parts in there
Yeah,
that you need.
well, we have 2 options. We're either gonna cut springs, which is the worst thing you could do, or we're just gonna have some fun, really developing, lighten up a car, rip out everything from the inside, bare metal, remove all non-essential things and just have a car. We can find something as funny as a Crown Vic
True.
with a V8 in it. It could be a Taurus, it could be something else. Like, make sure you guys comment if you guys have any ideas of something that'd be real good at both autocross and drag.
And
That's
don't
important for us.
forget that we're also gonna be judged on creativity and ingenuity as well.
Correct. So we have a lot of thoughts that are going to be happening here, and we're going to really be focusing on that creativity side of how we can beat what we can in the autocross section, beat what we can in the drag section. But a lot of people are saying from experience that they've had to really select one or the other. I think it's something that we might be able to pull off one greater than the other, especially depending on the car we buy. But I'm really excited for this challenge
Yeah.
because it's really going to put to test our knowledge, our skills, and we are going to need some help, guys. So if anybody's willing to step up, like I said, check us out. You send us a message. You can do it on Instagram. We're going to be on YouTube, HEATSOAKED FL. You are going to see some more short form content in congruence with our actual podcast itself. But something really important to us is this challenge is going to be our first real test. And are actually just really ecstatic to have fun. We've already been sending each other like funny like things from like just out of just outlandish cars. I found like a junker E36. I was like, dude, it's not running. $500. Let's make it happen. I said, I'll yank parts at a junkyard. We'll figure it out. And I'm just like, this guy's phone has not stopped going off. He's definitely, your wife's tired of me that messaging you at this point. So for sure, I'm excited for this challenge. Just for those 2 challenges, and I'm really going to be focused on that autocross section. I think that's going to be the funnest. I think bringing it back to the $2,000 challenge. The funniest thing is being able to having to adapt and develop. I think something that we're really focusing on is really taking our time with the car. It's not anything, nothing's happening till next April in 2027. So we have plenty of time. Reading that rule book is huge, by the way. So you have to really take our time and know what we're doing. We got to make sure we get checked in at the pit. We've got to be cleared to drive safely. Everything, of course, is going to be about safety. Anybody that has done any driving, you've done autocross. I mean, tell us about your experience and getting cleared and everything like that when you're building the
Yeah, we
car.
have to go through tech. We have to
Tech,
make
yeah.
sure that our car is actually safe enough to be out there going at speeds.
Yep.
We don't want wheels falling off, our battery to fly out of
Out of our hood.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be a really fun challenge for us. There's gonna be a lot of documentation involved as well. We need to keep track of how much we spend.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we are trying to stick to that $2,000 budget because there is a category where you can have an unlimited build. You can spend as much as you want.
Yeah,
But I mean,
absolutely.
what's the fun in that,
No,
right?
I don't think there's fun in that. But like you were saying, like, what's the fun in that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna try to stick to our budget. We're gonna try to play by the rule books
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. But ultimately, it's the journey. It's the journey from when we figure out what car we want to buy and then going through the process of buying that car.
Yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be a whole fun episode.
Yeah, that's gonna be probably a podcast and a lot of short form content where you'll
Yes.
see us go and buy that thing. That'll be a bunch of fun.
So we'll get the car. We'll game plan what we're gonna do with the
Mhm.
car. We're gonna do it. We're gonna film it as we do it,
Yep.
and eventually we're gonna get to the day of the event. We're gonna be there. We're gonna cross our fingers. Hope this
Yep.
thing
Yep.
survives the trip and runs.
Run survives the trip because I mean we could probably trailer it there if we absolutely need to, but
We'll figure it
we'll
out.
figure it out, like, depending on what we get. But hey, at the end of the day, hopefully some of our viewers can be there with us. Like I said, guys, don't forget We're always looking for that good feedback, and honestly, I'm excited for this challenge, man. It's something that's, like I said, it's not only going to push our creativity, it's going to push our skills as mechanics. It's going to push our, thought process. It's really going to push us as, when we're focused on autocross. What are the main things we focus on? We focus on how nimble a car is. Focus on, how we can get those turns as sharp as possible, keep our speed up as much as possible, especially in the far, hard turns. We want to be as light as possible on the car, but you don't want to be too light because you start sliding around at that point. There's really a lot of factors. How good are we stuck to the road? Are we spending good money on our tires, and that's the
Mhm.
only thing we're buying for the car? Little things like that are going to matter when it comes to autocross. So, I mean, KT, you've done tons of autocross. Tell us a little bit about it. Like, what is actually the autocross portion of this thing?
Yeah, so autocross, if you guys all know, it's just a little event that they set up in an open area,
Hmm.
and these cones kind of designate a course
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
and every car is timed. And typically, you're competing against other cars in the same class as you.
I got you.
Now, for this challenge, I guess we're all probably going to be in the same class, which may or may not be fair, but I think it's just what it is.
It
That's
is
part of
what
the
it
rules.
is.
But what you want to be able to do in autocross is to have enough driver skill to navigate this car
Yep.
from point A to point B and go through the cones along the way. You don't want to knock any cones down. You don't
Hmm.
want to go off course. So if you knock cones down, you get penalized. You get I
That's
think it's
right.
like 2
Two
seconds added
seconds,
to your
two
time.
seconds time. Yeah,
Yeah,
every
and these
con,
courses are
depending on the
generally
autocross
short.
event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these courses are sometimes 30-second courses, 60-second course tops. So 2 seconds on a 30-second course is,
no, it's
that's a
huge.
killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like that. That's something that could absolutely like win, make or break you. Like
Yeah.
that, essentially. Yeah,
And we're gonna try to up our skill. Like, I want to get back into autocrossing. Chris is gonna probably come with me autocross in my car.
that's
We'll
fine.
figure out what car we're gonna do it in, but that's gonna allow us to get a little bit of practice in. So by the time
Yeah.
next year rolls around, hopefully we'll have at least some driver skill to go along with this car that we've attempted to build.
I mean, that's the goal, man. Oh, and something that's coming up for us. Just a quick take because we talked about the autocross event, so I don't want to move on without talking about the drag event. So anybody that thinks of drag racing, of course, thinks of the Fast and Furious version of drag racing. When you see a hot girl go up and swing her hands down, and it's time to go, and you're on the streets of Miami or California. No, no, no. This isn't that type of drag racing. This is on a track that has been, well settled, well rubbered, heated up. It's well prepped for the drag race for the tires. Um, we're going to be just basically taking our time and we're going to be doing that quarter-mile time on this car. So if we get a heavy, slow car, it's going to have a heavy, slow time. If we get a light, nimble car, yeah, it has to depend. It's got to beat that track. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what we can do. And if we can, under $2,000, shove as much nitrous in that thing as possible. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not trying to have an engine blow up on us as we hit the quarter
Don't
mile.
forget, we have to test this thing before we.
I know we have to. That's the problem. Is like there's no way like you could just open a bottle and you go and so
But
like we're
or
gonna
do we have to test before?
yeah. I mean we can't do nitrous on the autocross course, so this is going to be the most challenge. We have to find a nimble car that can take nitrous. I just say we stick a V8 inside of a bug and we go from there. No. So finding this car is going to be the challenge. You have to find something that's going to have to fit all of these categories, all of these tastes, and it has to be quick. And that's going to be the funnest part of as we're doing it and going from there. But I think that's the excitement is we don't know what's coming next. And I think that's the funnest part that we're viewing, and especially with Heat Soak, where we know what's happening next. It's going to be a real good experience.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And that kind of ties back into our short form content that we were talking about earlier. So, what we want to do is be able to create YouTube content as
Yeah.
well. And we're talking short form. So, either YouTube shorts and then maybe YouTube videos that are somewhere between the 8 to 15-minute time range.
Yeah.
It'll be anything from us actually physically building our car, testing our car, maybe a little bit of tutorial sprinkled in there. But ultimately, it's about us having fun. You're going to be able to see how Chris and I work together on a car. And if you guys think that looks fun, join the team.
Yeah, for sure. We want to invite you guys into our garage. We want to invite you guys into, not to be nostalgic or too fast and the furious. We're looking for guys who are good with the wrench, good to hang out with. We'll decide that, be honest. And are okay with a barbecue every now and then. We built Heat Soaked as something that, since we were together working on each other's cars pretty often, hanging out, it's something that we really look forward to building this community, and that's something that we're really focused on, because Heat Soaked is for anybody who just wants an escape. They need a break, like from all the bills, from the work day, that 9 to 5 grind, who has a car that they have parts for that they've been trying to put on and just haven't been able to find somebody to help them get it on, or help jack up the car, little things like that, help assist with a heavy part. That's why we're here. We want people to start including that. We want to help other people, and we want to find people who are willing to do that for others. That's important to us. It's what we do for each other, so why can't we do it for others? That's our thought, and that's what's important to us. Like I said, if you can't find that escape, we're not here about showing off. We have our podcast, our humble beginnings, as we would say. This is something we do from our own dime, like as we still go for it. We put our investments in for everything. For example, this is going to be an investment. As fun as it is as a project car, there's a lot of other things I could have done, but
Hmm.
because we want to build this brand and build this community, we really want to build this up into whatever rocket we decide to do with it, or if I just want to rip the motor out and put it into something fun. But that's why we're here. Heat Soaked is that escape. Heat Soaked is that community. And like I said, we're in the Florida heat, man. We're all sweating. So let's why not sweat together as friends and just have some fun while you're doing some wrenching. That's what we're here
Yeah.
for, okay?
I
That's
think
important to me, at least.
I think it's gonna be a really fun, evolution point for us,
Yeah,
really. So, we're still gonna be making the podcast, we're still gonna be
yeah, of
consistent in
course.
what we do,
Absolutely.
but we're gonna sprinkle in a little extra fun into it now.
Hell yeah.
And you guys are probably gonna see us do some things that, you probably wouldn't think we would do, and we're probably gonna make mistakes along the way. There's gonna be
Yeah.
flops,
I'm gonna
there's
hurt
gonna
I'm gonna hurt
it's
somebody's feelings. I just
but that's what we're about, right? This
yeah.
is this is us when we hang out with each other.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think we're unapologetically like ourselves. And I think that's what makes it easy. That's why we decided to go into this podcast together, is because we're both unique. Sometimes we have the same topic and there's ways to do it. We both have different ways. KT's a little more calculated, while I'm a Neanderthal and I'm more brute force about things. But either way, sometimes it's about understanding that he's done that repair a few more times than I have. He's had this car, for example, an IS, a lot longer than I have, so he knows a few tips and tricks of how to work on it. When I say tips and tricks, do not put this man in front of a sawzall, because he will cut everything out of your suspension, and he knows it. All right, so tell him how
I
much you.
just need a torch and, a cutoff wheel.
There's no like safe nuts or bolts inside of your car. You would rather replace it and cut it all off. So, like, tell me a favor. Give me a percentage. How much have you actually like you using the sawzall and the cutters and the torch? How much, like, underneath your car have you actually pulled off using that?
I've used those tools way too much times than I care to, count, and I spent way too much money on new hardware than I thought I would.
I just think it's funny, man. So, like, every time he texts me, he's like, "Hey, got this part off," and I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "No, no, no, I didn't get it off. I cut it off, and then I just removed the bolt, and we were safe." That's
I persuaded it all.
but that's a lot of persuasion. I can't tell if it's a lot of anger that built in inside of you, but that's why we do this, man. It's for the fun. It's because we've probably been wrenching for years now. I know I've been doing it since I was a kid. So if I can't figure something out, I need someone to lean on. And sometimes, people aren't as friendly with the information as they should be. So that's why we're here. We bounce
Yeah,
it off each other. Either that, we just figure it out. If we snap a bolt, we look at each other, can't do anything else but laugh. Well, you can, but then this car would be set on fire already.
and it's an escape for me. I work an office job. I work like that 9 to 5. I sit
Yeah.
in front of a desk Yeah, like 100% of the time,
Yeah,
essentially. So any chance I get to actually just crawl around the ground, get
just
my hands
yeah.
dirty, turn something, set things on fire, you know, that's fun for me.
For sure, and I think that's a lot of people that we, are watching. A lot of people that view our Instagram content and stuff like that, or find us eventually, and check out the YouTube podcast. They have to know that like that's something you do. You work inside. You're at that desk. It's monotonous. You're there every day
Mhm,
doing something. I work a little bit differently. I work with a bunch of great guys, and I work outside, I would say at least 60% of the time. Now, I do have days where I do the same thing as you, where I'm behind a computer. Fortunately for me, with with all of my movement, and I just need to be moving, getting outside, sweating, and used to it is still not the same as, being in a garage and under a car, doing things methodically. Sometimes work gets a little crazy, it stresses you out, and that stress can, really pour over into your personal life if you let it. But I think something that really like separates that for us that's really done really well is when we come in and just spend a few hours wrenching on a car, man. There's nothing, listen, you'll bust your knuckles, you'll be angrier at the car than you are at anything else. But after you're done and you finally like replace a part, that feeling is like no
mhm,
other. And even if it took 3 days, 3 weeks, a year, you know,
yeah.
you're just like, I can breathe again, man. And I think that's an important thing that if you guys aren't or haven't rents in a car, if you don't have the information, if you don't know how to do all that and you're paying someone to do it, if you want to learn, you have to be willing to take a chance to, find somebody who's willing to do it. And that's something important to me. That's something I teach. I think I told you I try to teach my nieces, my nephews, I want to teach all my, family members how to do stuff because at the end of the day, if they're being taken advantage of, you never want that. And I think a lot of mechanics get a bad rap because of that in general. It's one of those things that as we go along, we really want to protect a lot of people, and building that community is how many other people can we help and, have that adjustment with.
Yeah, that's the kinda car culture that we wanna be part of,
Yeah,
and when you speak about community, we're trying to build that. So, let's talk about what are we actually gonna do to try to build that community. So,
absolutely.
some of our goals are actually to participate in some car meetup type
Mhm.
events, uh, not necessarily to go there, car show, put our car there and show off, essentially. We do just wanna be able to meet with other like-minded individuals and just have conversations with them, tell them what Heat Soaked is all about,
Absolutely.
and see if that's something that they're interested in being part of. So you may see us at some future events. I wouldn't call them car shows; they're probably car events, and we'll try to get a booth there. We'll try to get
Yeah.
our cars there, and just be personable.
Yeah.
It's about people at the end
It's
of the day, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't. And I think you're on a real bender there. Like it's about people at the end of the day. And the meets, the car shows, whatever. At the end of the day, because you don't want to see this thing in a car show. Look at it. Like what is she doing? Like like you see that in a car show, everyone's gonna be like, why is that even here? Like someone picked the wrong car up this morning. But at the end of the day, I think it is important reaching out to the community, being at those car meets, meeting up with us. You'll see us, and we'll probably might have some, teas on or things like that. Things we might start looking into. But other avenues is what is really important to us. Like we talk about this community and people, really getting back to that and something. And at the end of the day, some people don't even like car meets. Some people don't like car shows. I can tell you, I've had plenty of, buddies that never went to a single one, but then they never got a chance to meet cool people who are like-minded, who really like enjoying, working on their vehicles, with their friends and going from there. It starts off as a couple of us and it could, be tons and tons of us later on, but that's what we're here for. That's what we're here, making sure we're getting it done from there. And, we're about helping others. And I think if you help others with a mindset of you're going to get something back, we're not for you. We're helping people, we're enjoying it, and helping people is what we're getting out of it. And that's as simple as that. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Like the nonprofit of mechanics.
That's a good way of
No,
putting it.
hey, it's look, it's the truth, man. Like I'm not like every time I help you out, I don't. There's nothing. I don't think
Yeah, there's
we don't
no
get anything.
agenda or
Yeah, we don't
anything
get
like
anything out of
yeah.
it. We just get hang out. Cool down, talk about the BS happening at work. Or the great things that are happening during that day. Everyone has ups and downs, but I think at the end of the day, um, we each have something on our minds, and the way to turn wrench is nothing like it, man.
Yeah,
Nothing
and we
like it
hope
at all.
that comes through in our content. That's that's
Yeah,
what we're trying to do. We're trying to get that feel, all
yeah.
those feels to come through.
No, for sure. And I think what's important is like we study all of the awesome shows that are going on. Previous Donut was some of my favorite content. With all of our guys recently, Big Time's been doing a great job. Shout out to Big Time, Chris Fix, those guys. We don't like to shout them out too much, but something for us is even if they don't hear about us or have heard about us or anything like that, it's something that they're doing something good for a community, and we can respect that. And we're just trying to make our dent and impact on it. So, like talking about short form content, just getting back to that a little bit. I think what you guys are going to see repairs, some upgrades. Little things like that on our personal Instagrams. We've been doing some editing. I know you've put out, where we finally got a press, and you put out some work on that. Tell me how easy it was to build that thing up.
Wasn't easy at all, especially when you're someone who doesn't use social media. I think neither of us do,
No,
but it's been
no.
fun. That's the whole point of this. That's
Yeah,
the whole point of Heat Soak. That's the whole point of us getting together. It's just having fun.
yeah,
And we're learning things along the way.
yeah.
So, in addition to learning how to fix certain things on cars, we're also learning this whole videography aspect, social media,
Editing,
learn how
like
to put together a podcast.
how to build a group, how to start a business.
Exactly.
There's business side to this. If you guys haven't known, like that's something we've had to really develop into. And not everybody thinks that. You think you just put in a name and we're done. There's a lot of conversations that we've had. Pretty much underneath the car. Like it's like, hey, is this what you want to do? Make sure we're on the same page. And I think that's important as we gotta kind of keep going forward.
And the most important thing is that we have fun.
That's
That's what me and Chris promised each other when we
Yep,
first started this thing. The second
absolutely.
we're not having any fun with this, let's just stop doing it and
Yeah,
just do our own thing,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But we're having fun and we're still doing our own thing, so why not just showcase that to the world?
It makes it so much easier because even going through this learning process, you go through these frustrations, you go through all of the time invested, like the tons of other things. Like, I mean, there are people out there who will pull out a loan for 30, 40,000 and easily put it in here and have someone do all the work and everything. Fortunately, we're not those kind. It's gonna be slow builds. You're gonna see a lot of those small aspects of building cards, wheel bearings, for example, because I can tell you that needs one.
Yeah.
Especially like little things like I mean, it could even be brake changes, caliber changes. We're gonna go from this short form content, so we can kind of include everybody so they know those little things. And as we get more complicated, if we end up doing head work, you know, that's the chance where we might need some help. We are going to send it to a machine shop. I know there's a couple good local ones that we've been looking at. This thing definitely needs paint. Have you seen the hood in any of the photos? I can almost reach my elbow through that hood. Okay. But little things like that is what we're focused on because I want to make sure the little things are what get missed. I think if anyone had like a shop class growing up, they learn like the brakes, tires, oil change, stuff like that. But, did you ever learn how to do a transmission swap? Did you ever, which by the way, both of us probably only having done one. Did we learn? Yes. Do we like doing it? No. Would I rather pay somebody? Absolutely, dude. Are you kidding me? But I'm not going to do that. This is a project. This is why we do this. This is why we have fun. And honestly, I could have bought something that's, with the money I paid for this, I probably could have bought something that I never have to touch. It's completely bone stock and just have to maintain. But why not? It's a 2JZ. It's 2JZ's the world, baby. You said you went to Mazda Fest the other day. I'm sorry, the Mazda car beat. Is
It's a
that right?
little Mazda car
I
show.
gotcha.
It's a little local car show that there's a Mazda dealership in town that puts together the show annually.
Yeah.
So this time around, they had a little show on the outside. So yeah, got to see a bunch of cool cars out
Yeah.
there. Got to see an R34, an R33, and an R32 all lined up right next to each other. So that was
Gotcha.
pretty sweet.
Gotcha.
Ton of Miatas there, of
At a
course.
Nissan car show? At a Nissan car show.
Well, those are probably like the only 3 Nissans at a Mazda car show, but there's a ton of RX-7s there, really cool RX-7s, and one of them had a 2JZ swap.
That one's dope.
I
You sent
sent you
me
those
he
pictures.
did. He sends me a photo.
Like,
He's like,
recognize this
"Yeah,
engine?
recognize this motor?" I sent him back the same thing I just said. I was like, "2 Jay-Z the world, baby." Like, that was an awesome swap, though.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that must
There
have
is a lot of impressive cars there, but that just goes to show the car community in Central Florida and the car community as a whole throughout the country and throughout the world.
yeah,
So there's a lot of places that you can fit in, and we are trying to fit in a certain way. There's
absolutely.
a certain culture that we have between ourselves that we want to share with the world, and hopefully other people agree with us and want to be part of a team.
Absolutely. And I mean, as we lead into these challenges for the $2,000 challenge, as we start, looking to the future of these builds, really getting them up there, replacing the transmission. I'm going to have to manual swap this guy, pulling the full intake out, doing a 1J head or doing a, 2J GT head is the little things that we really have to figure out as we go along. So it's, getting that teamwork, building that. And eventually, like, we're going to be pretty strict. I want somebody, who's going to, be willing to help. But like I said, I'm not looking for anything from anybody. We could still do this ourselves regardless. Will it be hard? Yeah. Will it be worth it? Oh, yeah. But that's the fun in this, man. That's
Yeah,
what,
we just want other people to share in this
yeah.
journey too.
Absolutely. And I think what comes from cars, you guys will see us experimenting with a lot of like photos and videos, things like that. You'll see a lot of like music changes. Maybe we might develop something. You guys want to hear me sing? You got it. Like, but fun stuff, man. I think the car meet thing, like we were talking about, is going to be huge. A lot of long form and stuff. You're going to see a lot of first person view, third person view of us kind of moving around. It's going to be a lot of experimenting. So I really would appreciate and would really like all of our viewers and anybody who has watched or is currently watching. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what you think. Give us that feedback. I've talked to a ton of good friends who have reviewed our videos and are like, hey, here's some stuff you work on, here's some this. And I think we're only a month in. So I think for what we've done, a month and a half,
Yeah,
I think for what we've done,
podcast
yeah,
wise,
podcast
we've been
wise,
talking about this for a
yeah.
while
Oh,
though, but
we've definitely been talking that. But I mean, when we pulled the trigger and we finally shot out episode one, it's definitely been strange. So we're a couple episodes in. It feels like, a handful. And I feel like at this point, we're leading into the fun stuff and we're gonna get that additional content that focus on. And it's gonna be something. Like I said, we're not social media influencers, we are not content creators. So at the end of the day, we still have a lot more to do and to really focus on. And I think that's what's coming next with her. So you like next time you see, I haven't picked a name for her, but I might call her something and we'll figure what that is out and go
yeah,
from there.
yeah, we want y'all to be part of our team. We want y'all to be part of our network too.
So yeah,
Just having resources around is great. Even if you don't live in Central Florida, you can't help us out. Maybe if we're up in Georgia or something and
yeah,
you guys heard of us, hey, stop on by.
yeah.
We're
Stop
doing a
on by.
challenge in Georgia
Yeah,
and we need
absolutely.
some help, or you just want to come and film for us, or we
Yeah,
can use anything, right? We can
yeah,
have extra photographers,
absolutely.
videographers, people who paint
Editors,
cars, mechanics.
if you're just learning how to edit, or if you're learning how to, if that's something that you need experience doing, we'd be absolutely
You
down to
got a
have.
lift that we can borrow?
If you absolutely have a lift that we can borrow. No, in all seriousness, I think it's when we get back to people, man, it's really about just being as good as a steward as we can of the car community. I think we talk about the importance of it, we talk about the fun in it. But if you like cars, and like some people aren't able to do what we do, so we're extremely grateful to have what we have, to own what we own and work on what we can. So for the people that can't, for the people who have focused their lives to others and really like taking that time and can't, buy that car, and are looking for, that out, or looking for some way that they can get their hands on it. So when they do get that car, they have the experience. That's what we're here for, man. I know tons of people who have just been focused on their family their whole lives. And then once they get something, it's like, it kind of sits there, but then at the end of the day, this is for them. This is for everybody who can't get to a car. We want to make sure we're putting out this content on the right way to make sure we go from there.
Yeah.
That's the easiest part for it. But something that me and KT are also doing is I'm freshening up my skills, and just been surprised recently that we are taking a drift class. So it's something that we've probably done on our own time. Learn how to downshift, pop a clutch, start turning your car sideways. But we've never done it professionally, So I think, other than doing it in the streets, which I do not condone to anybody, I'm winking at the camera while I'm saying this, but other than learning in the streets, learning in the rain, learning in parking lots, I think it's really important. It's something that we're going to go do. We're going to take a drift lesson, probably an all day lesson. It's going to be a
Yeah.
good time.
It's right here in Leadfoot City,
Yeah, Leadfoot
Brooksville,
City.
Florida.
Heads up to Leadfoot City. We're coming. I'm sorry already in advance for myself. KT is gonna be your better student, and then when I pass them, it's just gonna be me going as we pass through. So, no, we're excited, man. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So Leadfoot City is gonna be hooking us up, and we're gonna be taking care of that. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna have fun. We're
make
gonna
sure.
try to make videos of it too,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah.
make sure you guys wait. We're gonna see some content on the what do they call it? The gram. I'm not good at this, guys. I really am not. It's a concept. We're just getting by. We're just scraping by as we go on.
If you think we look like we know what we're doing, I mean, you should have seen us a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, do me a favor. Watch episode 1 back. It's just as bad as that. But no, we're gonna have some fun. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Can't believe I'm saying this. Like and subscribe to our stuff, guys. Like I said, we're just guys who are paying our bills, trying to have some fun while we're living life. Join us on this adventure. We hope some of you guys can join us in the shop or in the garage as you see it. And can't wait to see any of you guys here. And can't wait to do this drifting stuff, man. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're like holding it in.
The
You're like,
second I saw that, I was like, I'm signing up for
dude, we
this.
messaged each other, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. And then, like, of course, I got shocked out of it, so I'm going now.
You got a nice surprise.
I did get a nice surprise, so I'm very grateful for that. We're gonna have some fun, and then it's gonna be a competition because then I'm gonna see if we can tandem drift over there. But yeah, man,
You
that's
never
it.
know, this might turn into a drift car.
Man, all I need is a manual and an LSD, and I can turn this thing pretty well. I mean, the last thing I drifted was a truck.
At least you won't need to get a paint job if that becomes a drift mystery
Yeah, that's true, but I still want one. Or that or I get a vinyl.
until the first wall you hit.
Hey, for any shops looking for sponsors, please give us a heads up on that. Something that we are going to do, especially since we are within our community, we are looking to make sure we, take care of ourselves the way through. It's really important to us that we are independent. We're going through there, but if anybody wants to help us out, anybody has any, good tips, good tricks, good parts, and maybe a lift, let us know. Give us a heads up, guys. And once again, thanks for an awesome episode with Heat Soak. We appreciate you all guys watching, and we can't wait to show you the really, really fun stuff we got planned coming up.
Yeah.
So welcome back to Heat Soak. Hit it, man. Let's do it.
See you guys.
Say it.